Hey everyone, it's Melanisha with Just Homesteading. How is everyone doing today? I am in the garden as usual, and I'm getting ready to harvest this pot of potatoes. So, normally when I plant potatoes in pots like this, I gradually add soil. I did it for the other ones late, but I did it in this one I just never got around to. And as you can see, the plant just doesn't look that great, and it's actually starting to die back. So I'm going to harvest this pot of potatoes, and then I have a few extra sweet potato slips, and I'm just going to put them in here. So I will fill this pot up with some soil, some compost, and then plant. I think I have maybe 3 or 4 slips, and then I also have the sweet potato that has been giving me slips. So I'm going to plant all of that in here just to see how it does. So let me get my gloves on and we'll see what I get. Okay, so I am in no way, shape, or form expecting a huge harvest, but as you can see, I did dig in here a little bit, so I think there's at least a couple of potatoes in here. These have been in here probably a couple of months at this point, because these pots were the first potatoes that I planted. And if they weren't dying back, then I would just add the soil now, but since they're dying back, I'm just going to pull them. And you know what? Instead of dumping it, oh, can you see that? Let me move. And we got a lot of rain today, so it's technically not the greatest time to be harvesting potatoes, but see that? Look at all those roots. It needed so much more soil. Got one. When I see a seed potato, there goes one. Yeah, they're not that big. It looks like I probably could have just left these grow. Get the little tiny one. Even without adding the soil, they might have gotten bigger. And they have some red on them. I have to double check, but I'm almost certain that I didn't plant any red potatoes in these pots. Sweet potatoes are so gross. All right, I think that's it besides the sweet potatoes. So let me grab my basket and put these in. I pulled this off today. My cipollini onions keep trying to go to seed, so I just keep plucking these off. And I mean, and you can use that just like scallions. So I will take that in the house too. Just gonna do one final check. Look how tiny that is. It's squishy, so I'm not gonna take it inside. All right, I believe that is it. So, I mean, for not hilling up the potatoes, and there's maybe a few inches of soil in there, I think that's a decent harvest, but I definitely gypped myself out of a better harvest by not hilling up the way that I was supposed to. So hopefully the other pots do a lot better. But yeah, not bad at all. I think this is a good sign for what's to come. And I have a trench of potatoes in the perennial garden, and I dug around in there a little bit today, and I found 2 potatoes. So these are new potatoes at this point. And I think those are my Kennebec or my German Butterball, I'm not sure. And then I dug around in the pot with the red potatoes, and there's some potatoes in there. So fingers crossed that means we're gonna have a good potato harvest this year. But yes, if you hill up your potatoes, you're supposed to get more. And I just didn't do that with this pot. I just didn't get around to it. So I am going to put this soil back in the pot, and then I'm going to put in my sweet potato slips. So give me a minute to do that, and then I will show you what sweet potato slips I'm planting. Okay, so I've filled my pot up with some mushroom compost that is extremely wet because of all the rain, and it was sitting in a wheelbarrow. But here's the sweet potato slips, and I have no idea what variety of sweet potatoes these are, but we're just gonna throw these in here because they've been sitting in the house because I am out of space where I planted my other sweet potato. So this little guy has been spitting out sweet potato slips, something serious. I mean, it has been going nonstop. As you can see, it's still growing more slips. So I'm actually just gonna plant this. Oh my gosh, we just got a bunch of rain and the insects are vicious right now. But yeah, I'm just gonna plant this and see if I get anything from it. Yeah, so that's 4 slips in this one pot. I have not been successful growing sweet potatoes. Hold on, there's something else on me. Growing sweet potatoes in pots like this before. So I don't have high expectations, but we shall see what we get. And since I'm out here, I'm going to show you a few other things. So I did see a red vine, or not a red vine, a vine borer squash in the garden. They're red. So look at that. The flower hasn't opened yet, but it was on this plant and a bunch of others. So I'm hoping that I can come out here and get this hand pollinated once the flower is ready, and at least get some squash before the vine borer egg hatches. So, but I do think I got it early this morning. Ooh, spider web. And so hopefully, fingers crossed, that it doesn't kill my entire squash crop. Look at that. I don't have a label on this plant, but I'm almost certain that that's my delicata. It's the first one, and I'm pretty sure that's the biggest squash in my garden right now. Zucchinis have been doing great. We have These are rampicantes. I hand pollinated these, but it looks like only one took because it's the only one getting bigger. My first spaghetti squash. And this big boy right here, that's my candy roaster. Oh, you know, we have some more. Zucchini. I pulled, 2 zucchinis from over here earlier today. These are my mini pumpkins that are finally starting to take off. All right, let me walk over to the other side of the garden to show you the other squash. This is one of my larger zucchini plants. You can see there's one on there. We got a ton of rain this morning, so that one will probably be ready tomorrow. And then this one's right here. This is the biggest zucchini plant in the garden. You see that? There's one down there. But I have to spend some time fixing my fence. I think almost every time I come out here now, there's a bunny in the garden. So I have to find a way to keep them out. This is, I'm almost certain, going to be the biggest onion that I grow this year. I don't even think you can tell how big this thing is. If its leaves would get out of the way. But look at that. I can't even put my whole hand around it. It's massive. Oh, look at my little buddy down there. Yeah, and these should be ready next week. That's what I'm hoping for. As soon as I pull these, I will be planting tomatoes and peppers in these beds. Yeah, so the big one I just showed you, that's an Alyssa Craig. And I think this one right here will be the biggest candy onion. And these are my Patterson onions. They look just about done. And as you can see over here, sorry, back to the candy onions, they have started to fall. So I'm thinking next weekend or early, not next weekend, this weekend coming up, or early next week, or early the following week, these guys will be ready to harvest. Yeah, but I have to get inside to get some house chores done. I just wanted to show you that quick potato harvest, and hopefully the big harvest will be a lot better. Oh, you know what? I'm going to show you one more thing before I turn this camera off. These are my Cathodon potatoes. As you can see, there are lots and lots of flowers. So I'm curious to see what we get from this bed. I've never grown this variety before, but it seemed like an all-purpose potato, and it had a good storage life. Okay, now I'm done. But as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.